In 1975, the Playmobil company said, "Yo man, let's rip off Lego." Now in 2019, they said, "Release the beast!" Hello, I am Jinlong, the Golden Dragon. Welcome to part 2 of my last video. Well, like I was saying, Playmobil certainly raises some doubts, as some people are calling it the not Lego movie. There's a difference though, the Lego movie was actually good. The way it was made works, and wonderfully if I may add. I was surprised at the amount of times I bust out laughing throughout. It's just that funny.
I'm here to see your butt.
Oh my gosh!
Ow. Wham. First try.
But the backbone of this film, what brings it together, is its final message. The correlation between the live-action characters and the ones in the Lego world, especially in the final scene, give this movie a certain depth and reflection which I didn't expect to see in a movie about Legos, or that it would work so well and have such a powerful message either. I could make an entire video just on this movie for its sheer genius and creativity. When I look at the Playmobil trailer though, it's pretty clear that it didn't seem to grasp what made the Lego movie work. I could be wrong, but this just looks like another cash grab trying to ride on nostalgia's in the Lego movie's coattails. Playmobil isn't even a toy that has such a nostalgia grab like Lego does. My parents had Playmobil. I can't explain it. It's like it's trying to be like the Lego movie but without, the substance and effort to make it work. Without that, it just feels empty. It feels like an advertisement, much like the Emoji Movie. But Jinlong, in that case, isn't the Lego movie also nothing more than one big advertisement? Oh hey, maybe it is. But the deeper meaning behind the plot and the characters' motivations and the build-up to that masterful ending scene make it obvious that the directors put thought and effort into proving the skeptical people wrong. People who thought a movie about Legos couldn't possibly be good and would never be taken seriously. Even if it's also just using my nostalgia of playing with Legos as a kid as a money-making tool, the message and the feelings it provokes are real. Or at least they're real enough to make me relate and leave that theater with a new perspective. With Playmobil, feels like an empty cash grab, nothing more. Also Fortnite dancing.
Gotta go fast.
Don't even get me started. The Sonic movie is the prime example of photorealism does not a good animated movie make. Repeat with me.
Photorealism does not a good animated movie make.
On a side note, remember Madagascar? Remember Wild? One by DreamWorks and the other by Disney. Why was one a massive success that got sequels and the other a forgotten flop? This is why. The visual style of an animated film, just like the story, needs to have consistency. Madagascar's style is unique, bright, and colorful, and the characters are all entertaining and easily recognizable and memorable. The Wild? Boring and just overall weird. The realistic style has trouble clashing with the real world around it. Sonic, however, is a little different than that. There's a reason why this movie looked horrendous when you first saw it. Sonic, like most of the animated films in 2019, is relying on nostalgia and a previously established franchise to get its bread. You know what makes a Sonic from one era and a Sonic from another connect? What makes you recognize both as Sonic? Style consistency. It's that simple. Does this even remotely resemble this? The anatomy is awkward and his body looks unstable. If you're relying on a franchise, especially one as big as Sonic, I think it goes without saying that your main character needs to bear some resemblance to Sonic. If you're exporting something from a primarily 2D cartoonish style to 3D, which is more realistic, there's gotta be a balance. This is why anime live-action movies fail. There has to be visible changes or improvements to the character while still bearing some resemblance to the original, in order to prevent the audience from being weirded out and visibly cringe at their entire movie. You know who did this right? Detective Pikachu. Sure, some Pokémon fall into Uncanny Valley, but the creators did a lot of research into the source material for details that audiences that don't play Pokémon might not even notice, like the constant flame on Charizard's tail, or electricity sparking from Pikachu's electric pouches on his cheeks. Detective Pikachu put effort into creating this balance, and for the most part, it works well. This does not. Also, I can't believe you guys bullied Paramount and Sega so much that they've actually announced they're gonna redesign Sonic from scratch 6 months before release. I can hear the poor animators crying already. But to be honest, unless the writers decide to redesign the script as well while they're not on crack, the only one who can save this fucking movie is Jim Carrey as Eggman. And finally, we've come to this. Merchandise that really shouldn't be turned into a movie, the movie. The Ugly Dolls movie. Just rename it the Ugly Movie in general. If you want shameless, and I mean shameless, milking of a product through mass media in order to generate profit from innocent children, look no further. I could go on and on about this movie's cliche and at this point detrimental message, empty characters about as interesting as a crumpled piece of paper, generic songs, and plots so devoid of substance it can only be described in one well-known overused sentence. Be yourself! Now, exactly how many times in how many other various pieces of media have you seen this before?
All of them?
I thought The Lion King was an insult to animation. Boy oh boy. I had to search this up as it's not available in my country, thank God. But Ugly Dolls is a brand of dolls that's geared toward young kids. Now it's got its own movie. Cool. Except the movie is the ultimate hypocrisy. The message is constantly shoved in your face every 5 fucking minutes talking about the importance of originality and uniqueness when this movie is anything but. I haven't even watched it and I know exactly what it's gonna be about. You know the stereotype that animation is for kids? People who refuse to watch animated films because they're childish and somehow live-action movies are for adults. Yet the vast majority of live-action films they watch contains animation or VFX of some kind on par with purely animated films. People who, because of their shallowness and ignorance, end up missing out on stuff like Into the Spider-Verse and Isle of Dogs because flexing that they watch adult movies is more worthwhile. I loathe these people, and it's movies like this that make them believe and feed into these stereotypes even more. This movie is a true advertisement. No purpose whatsoever except to sell product to gullible children. The soundtrack is just as dull and sounds the same as every other pop song in existence, but as I said, the creator's only intention with this was profit, and they don't even bother hiding it. There's a reason why they got a cast like Nick Jonas, Kelly Clarkson, Pitbull, Janelle Monáe. If the movie itself flopped, maybe they can get an extra buck from the soundtrack, in hopes a song from this absolute fucking piece of garbage could become the next Can't Stop the Feeling or Happy. The worst thing? These dolls aren't even all that ugly. Look at the original dolls and how they appear in the film. It is pretty funny that the actual product was so devoid of substance or creativity that they had to modify it and make it actually appealing for the 2-year-olds that would be the only ones willing to voluntarily watch this. Okay, that's enough rage for today. Damn. After everything I've analyzed, the future of movies and animation sure looks bleak. And you know what? Every single one of these shitty movies I've mentioned has pleasant and detailed animation and great effects. It's true. The internet has made top technology more accessible than ever before. Nowadays, what once required a team of 300 animators to do, now requires like 30, tops. Anyone can get a YouTube tutorial and learn the basics of Maya in a month if they're willing. But sincerely, I don't think this is the case with any of these movies. The case is bad writing. Actually more like lazy writing. After all, kids are not gonna care if the story is thought-provoking, makes them see things from a different perspective, or amounts to anything at all in their life. All they want to see is a pink sparkly character walk around and sing on screen, and that's all that matters, according to corporate. I actually think the animators of these movies are quite skilled since the animation looks good. Their character designers and writers are quite not. It's actually sad that oftentimes even shit like the Emoji Movie has decent or even good animation, but the artists, animators, and actors are forced to adhere to a generic cliche written in one night after a dose of heroin script. A movie exists to tell a story, to engage and inspire us. The story is the soul of the movie. How can a film be any good at all if it takes care of all the decorative visuals but doesn't bat an eye at the story? Which is what is supposed to make this movie engaging and important in the first place. What makes it unique, what gives it purpose and meaning. But all is not lost. The very fact that movies like Into the Spider-Verse exist is proof that studios and corporations can do better if they put in the investment to try. And tell you what, if money is what you want, what better way than to make a good product that's imaginative, creative, and engaging and communicate something to the audience, even enough to get you an Oscar and recognition for years to come. Who doesn't benefit from well-planned, clever, and beautiful movies? Do we really want today's younger generations to be raised on the Emoji Movie and Ugly Dolls? I don't want to end this on a sad and depressing note, so I'll say this. Technology is more accessible now, meaning indie projects with small teams of people with great stories to tell are now able to express their creativity through games, short films, and small projects. If corporations won't give us the innovative and fantastic stories we want to see and hear, we can make them ourselves. I'm an artist and I've got so many cool ideas for stuff. Who knows what could happen if I get together with other filmmakers, writers, actors, and create a story? It's people like you who are fed up with the same stories and repetitive structures and tropes and get up and think stuff, do stuff that make amazing stories come to life. The world needs you, artists, writers, and creators. Life would be a lot duller without the magic and wonder from your ideas. Get out there and get inspired. But look, I was serious, not all is lost. Maybe there is something we can still look forward to in 2019 after all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time! Hey, I'm an ally of the LGBT community, and I just want to say whether you're gay, lesbian, bi, trans, pansexual, asexual, gender fluid, whatever and whoever you are, you're all valid and you're all amazing. Let's make this a month to celebrate those of you who have the strength to be yourselves, and those of you who are still working on finding that strength. Love, all forms of love, always wins. Happy Pride Month, everyone.